So today I'm going to be bringing you a video that has been inspired by the women's marches that I've been seeing and hearing about in the news, and massively inspired by myself. Since hearing about these marches, I've started thinking a lot about fictional female characters who I really adore and who inspire me or make me feel more empowered. Most of these are from books because I read a lot of books, but I've tacked on 3 fictional characters from television shows, which I'm going to be talking about right at the end. So let's just get on with the list. The first female characters that I want to talk about to you today are the ladies from the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. There are so many wonderful female characters in this. You've got Hermione, Ginny, Luna, Mrs. Weasley, but the 2 that I really want to focus on and the 2 that have really inspired me the most are Hermione and Luna. When I started reading this book and I was about 7 or 8 years old, I was definitely very much a Hermione. I always put my hand up in class. I was very proud of knowing things. Knowing things was like my thing. It was something that I was good at, and I was starting to notice more and more as I got older and older that it wasn't really cool for girls to know things. And what I mean by that is people kind of laugh at me or look down on me if I got really excited about learning stuff in lessons. And I think that's the sort of thing where you start understanding reactions like that when you're very young. It can have a very big effect on you and on your self-esteem. But seeing the character of Hermione being so intelligent and being so in love with learning and kicking ass because of it was just massively inspiring to me back then. Just aspire even to this day to be like Hermione Jean Granger. And Luna, I think there's this quote by J.K. Rowling, and I can't really remember exactly how she phrases it, but it's something along the lines of Luna has sort of mastered the art of not caring what anybody thinks about her. I think what's so great about Luna is she does things her way, and she doesn't care how other people perceive her. She just acts on what she knows will make her happy and on what she wants. And I think that's such a wonderful thing to see in a character, and again, she had a massive effect on me growing up, and I still love her to this day. Next up, I want to talk about Jane Eyre from Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So this is one of my favourite classics of all time, largely because of the character of Jane. I think she's one of the most inspirational fictional female leads that I've ever read about. She's been put down so many times, yet she still manages to be so incredibly strong-willed and determined. I loved her, and I particularly loved her in a relation to Mr. Rochester because I feel like there are several instances where Jane really puts him in his place. She has agency and she knows herself and she validates herself, and I think that's such a wonderful, wonderful thing to read about. Next up, we have Blue Sergeant from the Raven Boys. I really love Blue Sergeant. I think she's such a wonderful character. I love how passionate she is. I love how unapologetically I don't really like the word quirky, but you know, she's just herself and she doesn't apologise for it and she doesn't follow trends, and I think that makes her just such a wonderful character to read about. The next female characters that I'd love to talk to you about are the ladies from the Lumatier Chronicles by Melina Marchetta. Melina Marchetta's characters in general are amazingly written. Her characterisation, I think, is the strongest aspect of her writing. They're always so wonderfully built and put together, and I could make an entire video about why Melina Marchetta's characters and books are amazing and deserve more attention. But it's her female characters in particular that I find really, really inspiring. Most notably Quintana and Phaedra, who show up in later books. This is the first book in the series. What I love about Melina Marchetta and her female characters is she allows them to make massive mistakes. She allows them to have massive character flaws and still be wonderful and still be kick-ass. I think that attributes that are traditionally maybe considered negative are considered extra negative when applied to female characters. And what I love about Melina Marchetta is she doesn't dull down those traditionally negative attributes just to make a more likeable character. She allows her female characters to do some really horrible things and make horrible decisions and still be wonderful and well-rounded people, and I think that that is incredibly rare, and just I was so happy when I read about these lady characters in this series because they're wonderfully, wonderfully written. Next up, we have Lizzie Bennet from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I don't feel like Lizzie Bennet needs much explanation as to why she is a wonderful character. I love her wit and her sharp humour and her intelligence, and I think again that she is a wonderfully flawed character that is allowed to be flawed and is allowed to make very fast and harsh initial misjudgments that do cause mistakes. The way that she seems so self-confident and sure in herself and in her skin, I really love that about her. She's one of my favourite Austen heroines that I've read, and just yes. Next up, we've got Scout Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is one of my absolute favourite books, and I reread it every few years and I feel so good every single time I read it. And I think a real big factor in me loving it is Scout Finch's narration. I love seeing the world through the eyes of this 6-year-old girl and seeing the way that through the events of the story, her mind starts to change and she starts to learn and experience things. I just think she's such a wonderful, wonderful narrator to read from, and I love her curiosity about the world and about people and her eventual open-mindedness. I think she's just a lovely and inspirational female character. Next up, we've got Inej Gaffer from Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I also love Nina from this series, but I really wanted to focus on Inej in this video just because I think she is one of the most inspirational female characters I've read about in recent years. Inej has had such a difficult, traumatic life and past, but she still hangs on to her faith and she still hangs on to her belief in goodness, and I think that's what I really love so much about her character. She hasn't let the world beat her up, no matter how rubbish it's been to her, and it has been pretty shitty, let me just tell you that right now. And then the final female book character that I'd like to talk about on this list is Bridget Jones from Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding. And something that I love about this character is the fact that she has flaws that are very recognisable in myself and in other people. I read this book very recently, and Bridget Jones is quite a shallow character and she can be very superficial, and that isn't something that she's judged for, like I feel like she would be in several other books or TV shows. That is something that she's loved for and embraced for, because it just makes her a well-rounded and very honest character. She's just the best, and Renee Zellweger's British accent in the Bridget Jones's film is so good. I couldn't believe it when I found out she was American. It's not really relevant, but now we're on to the 3 characters from TV shows that I wanted to talk to you about today, because I've been watching a lot of TV recently. The first character I wanted to mention is Aunt Pole from Peaky Blinders. If you don't know what Peaky Blinders is about, it follows a gang in Birmingham in the aftermath of World War I, and it is beautiful both in terms of its writing and its cinematography. But one of the highlights of that show for me, and one of my favourite female characters, is Aunt Pole, who is played by Helen McCroy, I can't remember her surname. It's either McCroy or McCroy. She was Narcissa Malfoy in the Harry Potter films. Her character is just so wonderful and rich. She's got such strength and conviction, and she manages to put those boys in that gang in line several times. She's intelligent and she is sharp and she is streetwise, and I love her, and I love Helen McCroy's, let's hope that's her surname. I love her portrayal of her. The next character I want to talk to you about is a character from a K-drama, and that is Go-eun-chan from Coffee Prince. Coffee Prince is a 2007 gender bender romance, and it is the first and only K-drama that I've ever watched, and I absolutely loved it. And the thing that I loved the most about it, aside from the romance, because I love the romance as well, was the character of Go-eun-chan. He is one of the warmest and kindest and just most wonderful female characters I've seen in TV ever. What I found so inspirational about Go-eun-chan is her family struggles very much financially, and Go-eun-chan has really been propping them up for a really long time, and through that she has developed such a dedicated work ethic and such loyalty to the people that she loves and cares about, and that is just beautiful to see. It's a wonderful character, it's a wonderful drama. I would go and watch it if you haven't already. The final fictional character from TV that I wanted to talk to you about is Sansa Stark. Yes, I know the Game of Thrones is a book series, but I haven't read the book series, so we're going on the fictional recreation of that book series character in the TV show. I think her characterization over the past couple of seasons has been magnificent. What I love about Sansa is in the early episodes, it looks like she is just going to be written off for the entire run of all series as a shallow, mean, spoiled little princess, and that is kind of how she's represented in the first few episodes. But what you get to see over the season is her develop into somebody who is so self-aware and so cunning and so intelligent and just has such ability to survive awful things. I'm just so grateful to the show writers for allowing her to become a very developed character, as opposed to just a stereotype or a foil to Arya Stark, who is a female character that I feel like gets a lot more attention for being stereotypically strong and physically strong. And what I love about Sansa is I think she really showcases well the many different types of strength that women possess. There you have it, those are my favourite and most inspiring fictional female characters on page and on screen. I'd love to hear about your favourite fictional female characters, so leave a comment below. But until next time, thank you for watching and goodbye!